On Friday, Bloxburg released a YouTube video going over their current roadmap for their game. It goes over information about the map revamp, the school, new UI, where the development team has been, and much more. So today we are going to talk about all of the new information. Before we start, thank you for 200,000 subscribers. I know I'm about a month late, but that's a huge number that I never expected this channel to reach, so I really appreciate it. I've been pretty focused on school recently, and I'm about to graduate soon, so expect a lot more consistency after I finish my finals. But with that being said, let's go over the video. First up is the most exciting information, the map revamp. It is currently the development team's main focus, which explains why we have only seen 2 updates this year. If you remember the news a while back, the devs mentioned that they scrapped their first version of the revamp, and that was because they believed it was not good enough. If they didn't like it, I doubt the community would like it either. For their second version, they hired Never Trust Bob, a designer that has previously worked on Row Citizens, and this new version sounds a lot better considering how excited the devs are. The big news though is their planned release date. The revamp is expected to be released this summer. Their artists are currently touching up major parts of the map, such as terrain, roads, and buildings. Then they will start adding smaller parts, such as street signs, props, and according to revamp, maybe some hidden secrets. After the artists have completed their part, the programmers will come in and work to ensure that the map is functional and interactive. Once all of that development is done, the entire team will spend a lot of time testing to ensure that nothing goes wrong at release. I know it sounds like a lot of work and a lot of time, but would you rather have a cool new map with no major issues or a map with a bunch of frustrating bugs? It's worth the wait. For those of you who are expecting another map expansion similar to the old map expansion that happened back in June of 2018, that is not the case. They have created an entirely new map with a slight reference to the current map so that it still feels like Bloxburg. But if you remember what the developers mentioned a long time ago, they said that the new map needed to have room for future expansions. So the new map will probably be very big, and that is confirmed later in the video by revamp. In the town center, the developers stated that they want to mix new buildings with old buildings. So that means we are not going to lose the old iconic buildings that we currently have. We will keep them, and we will also get a bunch of new locations. Their main goal with the new town is to get players away from their plots and out exploring. Because if you've played Bloxburg recently, you know how dead public servers are. People just sit in their plots, they don't talk to anyone, and they don't engage with the map. That's definitely something that can be improved. The new locations are not just going to be filler buildings. The developers want each building to serve a purpose and give the players a reason to come back, which is definitely a step in the right direction for an engaging town. Unfortunately, we should not expect every new building to be on the map right when the revamp is released. Adding that many buildings is a lot of work, so to ensure that they are made well, they will be split into future updates. So just know that any blank spaces or empty buildings is probably part of a future update. Other than that, there was no information on what these new locations could be, so go down and comment what you think we could see in the new town center. Earlier, we mentioned the size of the new map, and that much space means transportation is really important. revamp stated that the new map has a much better road network that connects everything together, such as highways, bike lanes, off-road paths, and more. But that doesn't really help people without vehicles. So the developers are looking at trying to add public transportation as well. They didn't really go into detail about this, but I'm assuming that would mean bus stops or maybe even train stations. Something the community has wanted a lot is different types of plot locations, and it is really exciting to know that the developers are actually working on making multiple plot locations for the new map. That could mean we might have beach plots or mountain plots or any kind of new plot that goes with whatever the new map terrain is like. They plan to keep 12 plots as of right now because in order to increase that limit, there would need to be a lot of optimization and testing. But they are interested in trying to increase the plot limit and player limit later down the line. Speaking of performance, the developers are focused on ensuring that the new map does not significantly affect performance. The game can get a bit laggy as of right now, so it's nice to know that they are taking it into consideration while designing this map. Everyone working on the map is super excited for the future. Froggy is currently the lead developer. He is one of the original developers from the start of the game, so if he is really excited about the map, I'm pretty sure the community will be the same. And that is all of the new information on the map revamp. Next up, we're going over the new UI. The rest of the development team has been working on overhauling all of the game's visuals, such as the menus, the pop-ups, the build mode categories, and every other type of screen UI. One of their goals with this update is to replace a lot of the UI text with icons. To understand an icon, you don't need to speak a specific language, you just look at it, which means that'll make the UI much easier to read worldwide, and it'll reduce the amount of translation needed for languages. Another goal is to make it easier to search for items in build mode. They are adding new ways to browse, filter, and search for items, which should make it much more user-friendly. Like I mentioned in my previous video, the devs are working on building a phone into the UI. If you want to hear more about that, you can go watch this video. But to summarize it, you will be able to access multiple features through the phone, such as your skills, family tree, backpack, and more. It should make navigating the game's menus more straightforward. When the UI gets released, it will not have the usual features that you see on a cell phone, such as texting and calling. But that does not mean it isn't getting added. Those features will get added later down the line once they are happy with the first revamp of the UI. Most of the UI should be completed by the end of 2025, but parts of it will be released earlier. The next big change is adding more ambient sounds to the map. If you remember, back during 2024 Halloween, Bloxburg released a bunch of ambient sounds for the map. Here are a few examples. The devs believe that sound is a very important part of the game that has been overlooked, so they are continuing their sound overhaul by adding more sounds for different items, giving sound effects to buttons and menus, and making new vehicle sounds that will actually match the type of car that you are driving. For the past 8.5 years, the vehicles have sounded the exact same, and it drives me insane. So this is definitely an update that I hope comes soon. Bloxburg is also receiving a brand new soundtrack, which means for those who have game music turned on in build mode, you will no longer have to listen to the same song over and over. Most of these sound changes will be released this summer, and after that there will be some more tweaks and additions to the game's audio. Next up, we have some good news about the Bloxburg High School. They have taken in a lot of the community's feedback to ensure that the school is implemented as good as possible, and they have even planned an area for the school on the new map. The school will have interactive classes, each with unique activities, as well as many other features, such as the ability to customize your lockers and even some school jobs. Mari hinted at Glenn being part of the school jobs, so I think it's safe to expect some kind of janitor job revamp, or maybe even completely replacing the janitor location with a school janitor job. Obviously, an interactive school is a very large project that takes a lot of development, so the team needs plenty of time to work on it. As of right now, the school is expected to release by the end of fall, but they are hoping to try and get it out earlier than that without compromising the quality of it. Here is the current progress that has been made on the school. The art team is working on creating tons of props for the school, while the programming team is working on making these props functional. According to Mari, the floor plan is being created, and they are using it to think of unique features that can be added in the future. The partner team that Bloxburg is working with is currently focused on creating the school's gameplay, such as class activities and core systems that make the school work. Unfortunately, we did not get any teasers, but it's good to know that they are hard at work. But we will receive teasers and updates once the school gets closer to completion. The last piece of news that we received in this video is addressing the smaller updates that we have been receiving recently. The reason why this has happened is because the development team is always working on multiple projects at the same time. Right now is a very big step in Bloxburg's future because we are getting a new map and a bunch of huge features that sometimes only leave small amounts of time for the development team to create updates. So while it feels like they have not been doing much in 2025, behind the scenes they have a lot of really exciting stuff in the works. So as long as we stick around and keep our hopes up, we will receive some really big updates that definitely have a good chance at reviving the game. And that is all of the Bloxburg news that we received. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you subscribed. Also, comment your thoughts on this information down below. My socials are on the screen now if you want to follow. But that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.